Carl Azus, and you've landed on CNN 10. This is one of 3 shows left to go in our spring broadcasting season, and it starts with weather and space. The eastern coast of Florida is soggy. A tropical disturbance has been hovering there for days, soaking some areas with between 5 and 10 inches of rain. On Tuesday, more than 7 million people were under flood watches from Miami to the Space Coast, and that could affect a historic launch planned for Wednesday. At 4:33 p.m., 2 astronauts are scheduled to take off from American soil. It'll be the first time that's happened since NASA's Space Shuttle program ended 9 years ago. But NASA's not the only organization involved. The spacecraft that'll take the men into space was made by SpaceX. It's a private company that has received billions in funding from NASA, and this will be the first time that a SpaceX vehicle has launched with astronauts aboard. Will the weather hold over Cape Canaveral, Florida? Meteorologists say there's a good chance it will, though rain along the flight path is a concern, and afternoon thunderstorms are also possible. If for any reason the mission's postponed, officials say Saturday and Sunday afternoon could also work. If the mission's a success, SpaceX will be a step closer to getting final certification from NASA to carry astronauts to the International Space Station. Currently, that's done from Russia. NASA pays that country $86 million for each seat an astronaut gets aboard the Russian Soyuz capsule. The SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, launching from America, would cost around $55 million per seat. Even though the future of the International Space Station is uncertain, SpaceX could provide a platform for future U.S. space missions, so the upcoming Crew Dragon test flight will be watched by space stakeholders around the world. While we're on the subject of space, Ten-second trivia. Where would you find 90% of all the ice on Earth? Antarctica, Arctic Circle, Greenland, or Russia? Even though Russia is more than 1 million square miles larger, Antarctica contains 90% of the world's ice. That's because an ice sheet almost completely covers Antarctica, and as far as the waters around the continent are concerned, there's been an international effort to create an Antarctic Ocean Sanctuary, a giant protected area of Antarctic waters. Australia, France, and the environmental group Greenpeace support these efforts, but the sanctuary would ban fishing there, and that's why China and Russia have opposed it. The krill that are caught there, for example, are important for the marine life around Antarctica, but people can also use them for supplements, oils, and pet food. While efforts to create the sanctuary have failed, CNN's Arwa Damon succeeded in exploring the frozen continent.
It's an ethereal world that we wake up to our first morning in the Antarctic. That sort of harsh yet captivating mystical beauty, with penguins swimming and jumping in the waters right around our ship, the Arctic Sunrise.
It's so beautiful and quiet, you almost don't even want to speak above a whisper. And there's 2 whales right there. This is absolutely unbelievable. See them?
And as if the morning couldn't get more striking. We're in the first week of a month-long leg of a Greenpeace expedition that started in January. We started off in Punta Arenas in Chile, before hitting the Drake Passage, notorious for its huge swells and rough waters. It's day 4 and we're crossing through the Drake Passage, and we're lucky because by the Drake Passage's standards, these are actually really calm waters. For many of the Greenpeace team on board and us, this is a first.
Yeah, I think it's a seal.
Before we head to shore, all equipment and clothing needs to be carefully cleaned.
It's quite interesting because when you look at it from the outside, it feels like it's this very harsh and robust environment, and yet it's incredibly sensitive.
It's really sensitive, especially for non-native species.
And we are off, heading towards Yankee Harbor.
Oh, it's so weird to be on land again. Look at the seals.
This tiny island, like the rest of the massive landmass in the Antarctic, is designated for scientific exploration and protected under the Antarctic Treaty. But that treaty does not extend to the Antarctic's waters, hence Greenpeace's mission. Even this region's most humorous of animals have their role in nature's equilibrium. There are still many unknowns, and the more scientists uncover, the more questions arise. But there is no doubt about the harmony here, one whose preservation is potentially linked to our very existence. Arwa Damon, CNN, the Antarctic.
Since mid-March, it's been obvious that our set looks a lot less like our news studio and a lot more like my bookshelf. And if you saw our show last Thursday, you would have noticed it looked a lot more like the woods. But in this era of us media types broadcasting from home, there are quite a few critical eyes being cast on our backdrop, so let's see how they're rating things.
Whether it's a cat on a weather forecaster's lap,
That is a big cat.
or wallpaper
At home.
so loud it makes your head hurt, these dispatches from home give viewers plenty to read into.
There, you got the books. You seem very smart.
We're going for a prison library.
Even a prison library wouldn't put up with Bill Kristol's messy books.
Look at that. Color-coded books. What should I read tonight? How about something blue?
And viewers aren't just watching. Room Raider at Rate My Skype Room is judging.
It's unhinged.
The Room Raider gave Tom Friedman's backdrop 4 out of 10, saying it's like Panic Room meets After Hours Club. He gave Governor Christie 0.
It's just a gratuitous shot.
Repaint, burn the furniture, make masks from the drapes. Raider Claude Taylor has no interior design credentials. He's just creating
lighthearted social distancing content.
He picks up on toilet paper and crooked lampshades, advises reposition plant to block vent, and when the Raider gave Ken Burns a 9 for his attic,
It's certainty.
Ken Burns himself let the Raider know it's a barn. Everybody's a critic.
Wait, does this guy have a framed picture of himself?
Yep, Chris Saliza tells us it's a photo of his first appearance on CNN some 15 years ago. All of the home judging is enough to drive a reporter outside to clown around. But even outside isn't safe.
It's not exactly clear policy. It's a little windy out here, Andrea.
We give the lights a 10 for falling so symmetrically. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Let's make that a CNN 10. So what could be said about my backdrop here? That what you C.S. Lewis, what you get? That my literary tastes are Stein back to basics? I kind of like my Hillen brand of bookings. It never gets Fitzgerald, and if I had the choice to make, I'd read into it cover to cover until folks stopped remarking about it. I'm Carl Azus. Oneida Nation High School is watching today from Oneida, Wisconsin. Thank you for checking out our show. CNN 10 returns tomorrow.